You mentioned problem players there, and when you're doing your research before the game, are you more aware? Do you give more focus to players if they maybe have a reputation to that point?
I mean, we try not to, because I think it's important you don't prejudge any individual or any match. But there's players who bring attention to me just through the way that the relationship we have or the way they speak to you. There's some players you can have a really great relationship, you can talk through again. There's some players that just won't engage you. So I think we know the players when we're on the field that might cause you a problem. I'll be honest, the team lines come in, I check the team lines are completed. I actually then don't look at who is playing, even in a match of that level. I don't really bother look at shape like 4-4-2 or 3-5. I really, for me, I just try and go in with an open mind and say we've got 11v11 and we'll call the decisions.
There was also, of course, retrospective action against that game as well. What are your thoughts on that rule now?
I think it's good. I think if somebody's committing a clear offence which is punishable, then we should be taking action. I know there's a lot of discussion ongoing about the level of intervention. That's not for me to discuss, but I think if someone commits a clear act of violent conduct, absolutely we should be challenging those players. Similarly for simulation, I don't think anyone wants to see simulation in football. So if retrospectively simulation can be challenged and players are punished accordingly, then I think it is a positive. And there has been a lot of talk where we get involved with various cases, but I think violent conduct absolutely and simulation are two things we really need to try and remove for the game, because I think the game currently is doing very well. There's a lot of interest, it's very positive at both ends of the table, in the top division, and our other divisions are very well contested. So we need to try and take the nonsense away from the football.
After every weekend and all the games, there's always calls for, this player should be punished, this player. It boils down to, doesn't it, if you as the referee saw the incident or not?
Yep, that's it. And I think the ins and outs of the judicial panel protocol, I'm not totally comfortable. I don't really know. People always think we submit a match report where we're sitting for hours at night describing every incident. Quite simply, we don't. We record what sanctions we administer with a drop-down box with the offence, and then if anything then is arising on the back of that, so if something's brought to the attention of the compliance officer, or there's something that the compliance officer they will write to us, and then they'll say, did you see the incident? And then we will describe what we've seen, if we've seen any part or all of the incident, and then it's up to the compliance officer at that stage whether they decide to take that forward.
I said at the start of the interview, it is very rare to hear from a referee. Is it something that you guys would like to do more? Would you like to be able to explain your decisions, or do you think that opens a can of worms?
Again, it would probably down to individual preference. I mean, if you're saying you wait, if you're going to speak to a manager, generally we'll wait 15 or 20 minutes after the final whistle to let them calm down, let us calm down, and hopefully we can have a sensible conversation. I think if we were going to do the same and talk about decisions, but if there's a clear error in a game, what value is there in a referee standing in front of a camera and saying, I didn't see the contact on the foot, so I didn't award a penalty? That will only carry so much weight. But when we come to more technical aspects of refereeing, where we can explain decisions, explain how we arrived, I think there's a real benefit and would help with the overall product and the education. But again, we're not media trained. The SFA don't take us down that road. So I think there's... Personally, I think there's scope to kind of introduce more open communication, especially even dialogue with managers and clubs. We have it at the start of the year, but I think if that could become a recurring theme throughout the season, I think we would see the benefits.
We've talked about the fans and social media. There's managers as well, and managers have their own thoughts, and quite often they can be quite vocal about them. How is the relationship between managers and referees?
And again, I think it's very good, and you're going to read... I mean, a manager might go and do his interview after the match, 5 or 10 minutes. He's up to high dough, he's under pressure, he's won or lost, it's an important game. He might say things that he might frame or phrase in a different manner 15, 20 minutes later. And I don't take things personally. If a manager comes out and says how the referee is not giving that, it's not a personal attack, it's an opinion. So I think you need to try and remove the emotion for that and say, I'm not taking that personally. So I think the relationship between the referees, the clubs, the players is actually very good. Again, social media doesn't help because it keeps the kind of hamster wheel turning, or there's an incident between that referee and that team or that manager, and it just keeps turning over. But generally, I think the relationship and the respect is at a good level. As I say, I've been in the Premier League probably too long to remember, 9 years, and I think it's absolutely as high as I remember.
You can tell your love of the game and refereeing, and the fact that you had your own battles off the field with cancer, and to come back to the top level and still have the love.
Yep, that was actually one of the main drivers. I mean, I think when I went to that doctor's appointment, I've never really kind of spoken openly about that, because I actually refereed the cup final that year. I remember I went to what I thought was a standard appointment at the Monklands Hospital, for those that aren't from Lancashire. And I just thought I'm just going for a simple check-up, and to be then told that the 8% certain that it would be cancer. So that's kind of unnerving. But really, for me, they said at the time, actually, Dr. Kang, who's probably the best in the business after doing my research, because I could have went private, I was told he was the man to see at Monklands, said, probably return to your Monday to Friday 95 job. Whether you'll have the physical capability to return to your refereeing, we don't know, depending on how the surgery goes. So, but I was very quickly put at ease. I didn't need chemotherapy, I didn't need radiotherapy, so I looked at it as a positive. I actually tell a story. I remember as soon as I left the hospital, I'm on my phone, I'm saying, thyroid cancer, right, oh, dry skin, oh, I've got dry skin here, I've got dry skin there. So I remember actually in the game, I refereed a game that evening, Dundee United Aberdeen, and I remember signalling for a throw-in, and I looked, I went, oh, I've got dry skin, man. And I thought, that's potentially what's wrong. So my mind was not in the game. I then cautioned Graham Shinney for simulation when it was probably a penalty kick. I then removed Derek McInnes to the stand for his reaction. So that proves why I think referees need to be in the right frame of mind when they go to referee a match, because as much as I thought, I'm dealing with this, really there was so much going through my mind that I probably wasn't totally focused on that. So I think that then adds to the value in maybe being professional. But so after that surgery, 5 weeks later I was back refereeing, so in the end it was all very comfortable.
Picking up on that, it's interesting what you say. You guys are human, you have things going on in your lives off the pitch, as we all do, and sometimes your mind is elsewhere.
Yep, and I think you try and not allow it to be. That's why the preparation is so important. The players will be the same. Players will be dealing with things, and a player might make a mistake. Does any of the supporters of that team or the other team care that they might have their own issue to deal with? Players, managers, referees are expected to perform consistently over a full season. None of us do it. None of us will perform every single match or every single minute of every match. We've all got our own things to deal with. But the professionalism helps if you have that time to focus. But from a referee's point of view, you need to be in there with a clear mind, really focused on the job in hand. And I think then you'll see better results.
Do you ever fear that the level of abuse and focus that's on referees at times will cause someone to think it's not worth it anymore?
I wouldn't like to think so, because guys that are operating at the level that I'm at the moment, we've worked so hard. Guys are generally, to referee in the Premier League, you'll need to go through 9-10 years apprenticeship to arrive in the Premier League. So once you get there, you want to maintain that position. It's important that you maintain your performance and you want to do as best you can. You want to referee the big matches. But for someone to walk away, again, I can't talk for other people, I don't know what goes through their minds, but what I would say is I think with the level of abuse and scrutiny, it might restrict the amount of people who would think about becoming referees, and that's what we shouldn't be doing. What we should be doing is trying to encouraging more people into refereeing. The more people that come into refereeing, the bigger pool you've got to select from, the more choice you have, which means in turn you might have better referees, and that would only make your listeners happy for a week or two maybe. But if see Sean Murder, for example, the Dunfermline goalkeeper, Sean just retired at the weekend there, and I know he's going to try and now pursue a career in refereeing. It came through very quickly actually a few years ago, but then decided obviously to focus because his passion, and it was important to him to try and play as long as he could. So now he's going to try and pursue the referee route. So he'll still need to go through the same stages as other guys at his level, but I'm sure he'll do very well. He's a nice guy. He's in good physical condition. So, and he understands the game, and that's what we hear a lot of complaints. We need players refereeing, but we can't quite simply take a player from the Premier League or the Championship to go and referee a Premier League game. It is not just as simple as that. And I think if you speak to coaches, say I had to referee a 5-a-side game, it's a disaster. So you need to go through that stepped process of development to make sure you're prepared when you arrive at the highest level in Scotland. And I'm sure Sean, if he's given that opportunity, I'll appreciate that.
We've spoken about part-time against full-time. The other big issue at the moment is VAR. What is your take as a referee on that?
Bring it in. Last week I was down in Antalya for a week with UEFA, going through the VR accreditation course, and it's great. I mean, it's a tool that referees would welcome immediately. If we could have that in at the weekend with the proper training, we would welcome that. I think technology's there, so why would we not use it? Again, we've got the same situation. Where is that level of intervention? Because we don't want the game stopped every 2 minutes. There's 4 key areas where VAR can become involved, and I think it's important within those 4 key areas that we only get involved for clear, important mistakes. I think that's UEFA's. If someone's small shot pulling might be a penalty for one referee but not another. If they give it, fine, support it. If they don't, we don't get involved. But it's for clear, important errors, and I think everyone would accept that. But what you need to realise is the amount of training that's involved in that. I think I've had 4-day courses in various countries around Europe since October, then that week down in Antalya. So there's a lot of hours required to bring you to a level where you're approved, certificated, where you can go and officiate with VAR or act as a VAR. So that's a massive exercise and undertaking for the SFA to put in place. But my understanding is that they've declared an interest with IFAB. They manage all the VR process. And then there's a set amount of time and set infrastructure needs to be in place before you move forward. So the funding for that sits with the league and the SFA. So I know that a lot of players, managers would welcome it, but similarly the referees would love to see it.
You mentioned that the big issue is cost. And in terms of Scottish football, do you think it's something that you'll see while you're a referee?
I hope so. I hope so. I think I've got maybe 5 years to carry on, so I would like to think that we'll have that in place. You just need to look around Europe and see what countries are implementing VAR. The big leagues have got it. They've got the finance. They've got the TV deals. But you've got countries like Malta, Georgia, Slovenia in the final stages of just selecting their provider. We're a far bigger league than these countries, with all due respect to them, and we've got a very good football product. So forget what it offers to refereeing and improving the correctness of decisions, but your product, this is going around the world, people are watching our football, and we don't have VAR in place. So if you want to increase the credibility of the game, we need to get VAR in place. I just can't support watching a game in Malta, Valletta v Hibernians, with VAR, with 500 folk in the crowd, and we've got an Old Firm game with 50,000 and no VAR. So I think for credibility, I would really like to see it in place.
Bobby, thank you for joining us in Superscoreboard.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.